Welcome to StickTalk, where we talk to hospitality individuals on what they like, what they do, and what they drink. I'm Kapri Robinson.
I'm Holiday, he, his.
I'm Andrea Tateosian, she, her, hers.
And today, this episode is brought to you by Cotton Reed and Kapri.
Hello. Good to be here.
I'm glad you're here. So our first cocktail with Andrea today is going to be a Jungle Bird, which is really awesome. We're really excited about this. So delicious. So this Jungle Bird was created in 1978 at the EP3, which is in New York, which a lot of cocktails, classic cocktails, or modern cocktails, right, were made in New York, of course, at that time. And a lot of times. Originally made with Puerto Rican rum, but a lot of people like to drink this cocktail with blackstrap rum, which has a very awesome mapley taste to it, and I think that with the Campari and the bitterness that people really enjoy. I personally would rather have it with white rum itself, but the blackstrap rum in addition came from Giuseppe Gonzalez, which is also a person from New York, so that's what we're having first, and we thank Andrea for being here and being able to do this for us. This is exciting. You've been supporting us for a very long time. I'm really happy that you're here to talk to.
Always been a big fan of the show and all the work you do. Super excited to be here. We're going to give this a quick shake first.
Absolutely. Do your thing.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yes.
While you're shaking, can you shake and talk?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go.
Well, tell the people, who are you? Like,
Sure.
what do you do?
Absolutely. So, like I said, Andrea. You can call me Andrea. I've been working in the industry in DC for 10 years, a little over 10 years now. I've been living here for 11 years. And yeah, it's been kind of a fun and storied experience. I love being in DC. The industry is actually why I'm still here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, DC industry is the reason why I love the city, of course, but I've been here for a long time. But we've even sat down and talked about how much we really enjoy our industry and how community-like it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that keeps us definitely here. People are leaving us, right, left and right, for Chicago,
We have
places.
I feel like we're still getting a lot of people. In the last few years, I've been seeing a lot of people coming to DC specifically to be a part of the food and beverage industry. Because before, I think there were a lot of people, in the early aughts where where they were coming to DC, and I was one of them. I came to DC during the recession. I wanted to save the world and work at the State Department and help people negotiate with each other. And when that turned out to not be what I wanted to do, the people that I identified the most with, please enjoy.
Oh yeah,
the people who I really identified the most with were the ones who I had been bartending with and picking up shifts here and there with. They were the people who were the most real to me, because I think in DC there's a reputation in in politics and bureaucracy for kind of this blind ambition, and I definitely saw that in a lot of young people that I worked with.
Right.
And the people in the industry were just real and sincere, and I made the truest connections there.
Absolutely.
When you speak of these people in the industry as if you might know of them, you have like a kind of group or organization that that you might want to tell us about?
Well, yes. I am the president of the DC Craft Bartenders Guild.
Yes.
It's an organization that's been working in DC for the last 12 years now. 12 years, wow.
Wow.
I've been a part of it for about 6 years, and I started, it was interesting, when it became a thing, it was a very small, kind of exclusive group, and I remember thinking when I first heard about it, like, I don't want to be part of those cool kids, just like cocktail nerds. I just want to bartend and, you know, make people happy. And it felt like it was this very exclusionary club.
Right.
And a few people who, you know, who came to prominence in the guild in like 2014, 15, 16, really worked to open it up and invite people in. Because it's not supposed to be, because craft cocktails isn't supposed to be this, you know, we're cool and you suck kind of thing. Can I say suck?
Yes. You can also curse on here.
Fantastic. It's not supposed to be this, like, you know, I'm standing on my superiority behind this bar and making you feel like crap, even though you're giving me your hard-earned money. Shouldn't be like that.
Right.
So we started transitioning, and that's when I became a part of it. So I was a member for a couple of years, and then I got involved in little things, leading the charity arm of the organization, and then 3 years ago I was elected president.
Yes.
So it's been a fun ride.
And leading strong, right? That's amazing.
Doing my best. Doing our best.
And talking about leadership and being in that role, like, what are most of the challenges you feel like you face as a leader? Which is a lot, right?
Right. Right. Well, it really depends on the scenario, because being a leader of a nonprofit organization that brings together bartenders has its whole own slew of challenges. You're trying to invigorate and energize people who don't necessarily work for you. You're trying to convince them that this work that you're not getting paid for is worth doing.
Yes.
You're trying to show them the value in giving back in that sense. And so that, you know, that's a learned skill to kind of learn how to motivate people that way. And we still, you know, we have a great volunteer squad. We have a lot of people who really care and who put in the time. And being a leader in general behind the bar or of a restaurant obviously comes with its own set of challenges.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
We've got some really beautiful people in this industry, and we've got a lot of beautiful fuck-ups. And you're trying,
very true.
You're trying to herd these cats, and you know, we want to be seen as, like, you know, we're a real career, we're a real profession, but then you still got to kind of combat that, you know, crazy sleep till 4 in the afternoon and roll into work drunk or high or whatever. You're still trying to combat that while accepting that bartenders are bartenders.
Yes.
A lot of us are in it because it's like a little more flexible.
Absolutely.
That's why the industry is like the haven of artists.
I mean, speaking of the industry and investing in the industry and in yourself, right? I know that you participate with Tales of Cocktail, with the CAPS program, and there's like levels to it. I mean, could you talk
Absolutely,
about that? Yeah.
absolutely. That was really what jump-started my career in this industry. I'd been bartending and serving, and, you know, I started bussing tables literally half a lifetime ago when I was 15. But I never really considered it a potential full-time profession until I went to Tales of the Cocktail. And I met people who didn't just go from bartender to manager to owner. They had wide and varied careers, and, you know, they gave back to their community and they created fulfilling lives beside that weren't necessarily built around giving people alcohol. That's what really drew me to it. The CAP program itself, so it's the Cocktail Apprentice Program, and they're the people behind the scenes who are making all of these thousands and thousands of cocktails for all of the guests of Tales of the Cocktail. It's a mentorship program, but not in the way that a lot of people expect. It's about a week long. You get in, they show you the systems. We give the new people, and in the end of it, we hope that the new people will be the ones leading the seminars and kind of making things happen. So the goal is to give people the tools, show them the way, and then just be like, all right, this is your seminar. I'll take your new person coat, you take my manager coat, and you know, go for
how you
it.
work it.
Yeah.
So just for everyone to know what Tales of the Cocktail is, Tales of the Cocktail is a very huge conference that happens in New Orleans every year in July, and it's for cocktail enthusiasts, bartenders, hospitality professionals, everyone to come together. And there's classes, and what the CAP program is to back of the house, pretty much, the behind-the-scenes thing that happens. And it's really awesome the amount of work and organization that they have to go through to make sure that every day, it's like a 6-7 day event, that every day runs as smoothly as possible. But those things create families, right?
It really do.
And it's really awesome to work with someone for huge events like that. You're just like, you're probably yelling at each other one day, and then at the end of that night, you're like, thank God all of this is over. And it's really awesome. It's something that I definitely want to do myself, for sure. But CAP program is something that I believe that a lot of people in the industry should definitely apply for. And there's so many other opportunities like that out here. You also do, you've done First Boston for their, is it an apprenticeship or is it?
It's a volunteer, so they call their volunteer scholars.
Okay,
and they're the volunteers that fly in from different cities and towns and also do that side of it. There are a lot of cocktail conferences out there.
Right.
And it's great. We've seen, I remember when San Antonio had their first year, and it was just a friend who was in the CAP program who wanted to make it happen, and she made it happen, and now it's one of the bigger ones in the country.
Absolutely. They have Team Taco, I think they call it.
Team Taco?
Yes,
That's
their volunteer group.
They're volunteers in the tacos.
And I mean, these things aren't necessarily paid for, but there's such great experiences, and I think the more you go, sometimes trips are involved and things like that. And I just think it's just there's so much stuff for us in the industry to really go out there and grab ourselves. That brands, people, conferences are just like, it's here, take it. And I think you're one of those people that really have embodied that. It's really awesome to look up and see you do all those things for sure. It's really awesome. But
it's been interesting. I remember the first time that I was talking to someone from DC. It was like, Drea, I was in Chicago and someone mentioned your name when I told them you were from DC. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And now, that's an actual thing where I can walk into specific bars in Chicago and there's 10 people who will turn on their bar stools and be like, Drea! It's like Cheers, but in a completely different town.
Yes.
Which is really rad.
Yeah, just expand the family, expand the village aspect, networking, community, and education.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, and we really the true mentorship of those things, of those events, in my mind, happens after the actual event.
Yes.
Because you can teach someone to batch in 5 minutes and not have to go through the ridiculousness of tailspin cocktail. It's not about mentorship there, because you don't really have that opportunity to talk about mechanics and really help someone with their career when you're working 13-hour days in the kitchen.
Right.
No windows.
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
afterwards, that's when the real networking and mentoring happens.
Yeah.
There are all these Facebook groups. There are, just all of these groups where people share ideas and people feel comfortable saying, "Hey, I've never fat washed a cocktail. What technique should I use? What book should I look at?" So there are so many resources out there, and people utilize those experiences at Tales, at Pop Fest in Kansas City, everywhere. They can utilize them to work hard at the event itself. They work hard at the event itself. They make their impression there, and then later when someone's like, "Oh, I need someone in Topeka. I need a brand ambassador. I need a brand ambassador in San Jose." They're like, "Wait a minute, I met someone at this event. Let me hit them up. Maybe they're interested. Maybe they know someone who's interested." And that's how you can kind of have this spider web network create itself. It's really cool.
I'm going to hold you up. What are you
Good.
shaking up for us?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and shake up. I call it a sunshine sherry
Do you
daiquiri.
want any of this? There's straws if you want a straw.
No, next one's all mine, so you can go.
What? I need to taste this. Oh my god.
I'm doing a sunshine sherry daiquiri. So I learned this a few weeks ago. When you make a cocktail, if you shake it or stir it with the peel, it's called a regal. If you express it in and you shake it with the peel inside, it's called a regal.
Okay.
Well, if you do it with an actual slice of fruit, that's called a sunshine.
Okay.
I don't know if that's real, but I really hope it is. Okay.
This is a real thing.
This is a fact. All right.
Because
Capri Robinson approved.
all right, I work at Reliable Tavern, plug, and we do this thing where we do rounds, right, to make sure we're staying on top of everything. And I remember one time I had to make I don't remember the name of it, but it was a Gosling's sour with the sunshine. And I'm looking down, I'm like, "It's a sunshine. What the fuck is the sunshine?" And I'm looking around like, "What's the sunshine?" Everybody, they're like, "Oh, and it's like, go! And they're like, oh, by the way, it's an orange slice. So I have to like take time out of my round and cut an orange slice open, throw it in my, I was so mad. I was mad. But yes, that is a real thing.
Excellent.
Sunshines are with fruit, Regals are with the peel, and you're
Wonderful.
so you're right.
Chill that glass down. So I love sherry.
Yes.
I love it. Oops, forgot my salt. I love a good sherry daiquiri. And so I'm doing a little split base sherry daiquiri, but with the lime wedge in there. So lime juice sometimes can be a few hours old, and which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to give it that extra pop with the fresh juice, and I don't muddle it. You can just shake it in.
Yep.
Oils express their other flavor. So it's mostly Fino sherry, ounce and a half Fino sherry, half ounce of Amontillado, just to add a little bit more depth.
Yellow body.
I do a fat 3/4 ounce of simple syrup,
Nice.
and then I go lighter on the lime juice, like a fat half ounce of lime juice.
Absolutely.
Sherry's so dry, the simple syrup actually is a really good thing to have and to provide texture to this cocktail. So
I'm super excited about this.
hey guys,
That's good. I just got those yesterday. Yes, nothing guys, it's heavy, and I remember my first year working at Reliable Kapri, and I can explain to you the pain I was in.
feeling it.
Especially, oh my gosh, we have a place that's not like super busy all the time, so we don't have a bar back. And I work downstairs by myself, but we make cocktails. And so it was just like, I remember the first night that I like really had to like shake everything. I was like, I sat down at the end of the night. I was like, stay here. There's so much with this. I mean, but it creates such a great texture.
I mean,
I can't go back. I mean, I can shake it happy. Yeah.
It's so fluffy and happy.
Ew,
Cheers. Enjoy
thank
the sunshine
you.
sherry. That's just fun to say.
Right? Sunshine sherry. Sometimes sherry, daiquiri, right? Okay. But going back to all that you do, right, and everything you're investing in yourself and in this industry.
Hold on.
I saw him point at
That's
it.
amazing. That is amazing.
A little dash of salt.
Oh, that is amazing.
Awesome.
To yourself, you not.
This is my. I could drink a pitcher of
That's
those.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
Any season, any day.
No, but that's the thing about sherry, right? It's like you can really have it all year round.
Oh, yeah. You do
In so many different ways.
like 6 sherry cocktails.
I have been drinking Adonis's a lot lately. Like just sweet vermouth, sherry, Fino for me. Stirred. That's it. That's all I need.
There was this bar in New York City that was very, very like heavily like southern Spain, but also Basque influenced by the food. And their lead bartender spent weeks concocting blends of sherries to create the perfect bamboo and the perfect Adonis.
What?
And they were fantastic.
Oh
they
my
were
gosh.
really sensational. It's not there anymore though.
Ah.
I know it closed a couple of years ago, but it just makes me want to keep pushing. Like, what's the perfect? What is the perfect sherry to put in a sunshine
And
cherry?
blending is so hard, especially when you're trying to think of that, right?
Mhm.
So, sorry, another plug, Reliable Tavern. We make our own, we're blending our own white rum and dark rum, and the beginning of that thought process is, well, what do we want it to taste like? What is the perfect white rum, right? And then we think about, okay, well, what do we think is like the epitome of white rum drinks? A daiquiri. Okay, where was the first daiquiri made? Cuba. Okay, well, what did Cuban rum taste like back then? You know, it's like such a thought process of like, what are you trying to make? Blending is, you can't just be blending for blending's sake, right? You really need to think of the whole picture and why you're doing it. So like, to say that, it's like, what is the perfect bamboo? And why was it the perfect bamboo? And like, what was the sherry like then? What was the, you know, I can't remember the bamboo, but like, yeah. Okay. Like, okay, I was right.
You did good job. Nailed
But
it.
yeah, so that's really awesome you got to experience that. And hopefully one day it'll come back somewhere randomly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll be able to come up with my own plan
Yes.
and figure that out.
That's real. That's so real.
Well, you're speaking on mentorship and your involvement in CAPS, Excels, your involvement in DC Craft Guild. So you're a mentor to many. But what inspires you? Who inspires you? Like in your life, not in your career, in life. Who inspires you? Who has inspired you?
Well, honestly, number one is my great-great-grandmother.
Yeah.
No, my great-grandmother.
Okay.
Oh, my great. I was like, wait. I know, all the way back. No, my great-grandmother, her family was basically killed in front of her in Armenia about 100 years ago. And when she was 9 years old, she literally ran into the woods and survived on her own for 6 months.
Wow.
And she, through all the trials and tribulations, made it to this country and made a life for herself. And she remained an incredibly positive person and was just so happy to be alive and so happy to be with her family and just so grateful for everything. And so I try and remember that and kind of recall that sense of gratitude, even when things are not bad, because honestly, they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
And when I'm at the gym and I'm doing crunches and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna make it. I'm like, god damn it, she survived the woods. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do it.
At least you're going to the gym. That's really nice.
What about in this industry?
Allegedly.
What about this industry? Do you have anyone inspired you? Do they have like similar traits to your great grandmother? Or
You know, I think there are a lot of survivors in this industry. A lot of things. It's one of the reasons why I love it. It's a safe space for a lot of people. It's a place for people to start over. It's a place for people to move forward and start to build something. In this industry, there are a lot of people I look up to as business people. But honestly, I'm really I don't know if this is gonna sound cheesy. I'm really inspired by people who just come to work every day and then go home to like a house where they're staying with like 6 other people and they work one 8-hour shift and then another 10-hour shift, whether that's dishwashing or being a bar back or bussing tables, like kind of the unsung heroes. I mean,
we all know that our industry is very taxing, right? Mentally, physically. What are some of the things that you do to kind of make sure that you're keeping yourself at a balance with the work life? Like, taking time away or stepping away? Like, how do you decide to do those things? What is it for you?
It's something that I still struggle with, and I have to be open about that because it's really easy to want to do all the things and be a part of all the things. And for me, I'm the type of person where if I don't go to a thing or I say no and I stay home, I'm worried about it, and I'm like, oh no, what if that brand were to get excited about the guild and then we could have a sponsor for this or that, and I have to shut that part of my brain off. Living with my partner has actually helped a lot because just, kind of feeding each other and taking care of each other has been really wonderful and new change. But honestly, it's just forgiving myself for not being on all the time and for needing those days of just like, I'm just not going to talk to anyone today. I'm not going to answer those emails today, and that's going to have to be okay. Because at the end of the day, it is okay. Someone might be a little peeved, or hopefully there's no deadlines being missed. If there's a deadline missed, then I'm picking the wrong mental health day. But at the end of the day, it's lunch and dinner, not life and death.
Right? Absolutely. Well, we just want to thank you again for coming on the set. Yes. We had beautiful drinks, and we'll see you around soon. We do. Also, you all, she was a mentor for us for our Taco City's Best competition this year, and we want to thank you again for all the support you've given into us as Taco City's Best in general, and being there. And we want to hopefully, however we can. I'm saying all this on camera because I love Drea. But that was it. Thank you all so much. Peace out.
Thanks.